Okay, so now let's talk about how you actually go about doing this project. First of all, as you know, you need to go to File, New, and create a new canvas with the dimensions of 1000 by 1000 pixels. Photoshop Collage. We are wanting a 72 resolution because this is for web, not for print. I'm going to hit Create, and good, it's the exact same size. Now, one thing that you can do if you want is you can add some guides to help you with where the pictures are supposed to be. So these are basically lines, either horizontal or vertical, that you can add at specific places to help you keep things in alignment, but they won't actually show up in your finished picture. So if I say 300 pixels, my position is 300 pixels, that means this is going to be I want a vertical line 300 pixels from the left. Okay, so there's one. And I can see that is that line right there. And then I can go over here and let me just add another one at the top because I want to do, let's see, new guide. I want a horizontal one that's 200 pixels and this is measured from the top. Okay, now you could go and you could do one for everything, but then it gets confusing because the lines go all the way through and so you have a lot of lines. So if that's what you want to do, go for it, whatever's helpful. Right now I'm going to focus on this part right here in the top right that should be a 700 by 200 pixel image. And let me say before I go any further that if you're not seeing your rulers up here and over here, then you should Command R to toggle them on and off. They're very helpful, and you should right click them to make sure they're giving you readouts in pixels because it's really helpful. And as you're moving your mouse around the canvas, you can see that both up here on this ruler and over here on this ruler, no matter where your mouse is, there's that little white line going back and forth so you can see exactly where you are in the pixel grid by looking at your rulers. Alright, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to get an image into this canvas. You're familiar with this? I'm going to open this image, open in Photoshop. Alright. Let me close this guy. Don't save, even though it was beautiful. And I'm going to go to Arrange, and I'm going to go to 2 up, vertical. Now, this first way it's probably the most precise way, but everybody might have a different way that they prefer. So the way to do this is you're going to crop, C tool, and you're going to go up here to the top and you go to width by height resolution, and you're going to type in the exact resolution that you're wanting, 700 by 200. Now you'll see down here that it's not actually constricting it to 700 by 200 because I can drag this and make it as big as I want. But it's giving you the right proportion, and then once you hit enter, it will reduce the size to the resolution you specified. So if I say, all right, let's say that's the composition I want, and I hit enter, okay, now it's really small because it's actually now 700 by 200, and I have to zoom in on it. I can just go to my move tool, I can drag and drop it, and it should fit right there. Perfect, okay? The one caveat I have about this method is that you should be careful not to then save this over here, because if you do, you'll save over, or you might accidentally save over your original image, and then you'll have both a cropped and a drastically reduced resolution version of your original picture, and I wouldn't want that to happen to you. That would be sad, and you have to submit your original pictures for this assignment. So if you do it this way, just be sure to close this out without saving it, or to save it as something else. And in fact, let me show you that's what the thing I'll do next here. Let me go back to where I was. And by the way, I should say in Photoshop, undo doesn't continue to go back and back and back in time the way it does with other programs. You have to hit Shift Command Z if you want to go back and back and back. Otherwise, if you just keep hitting Shift Z or Command Z, it'll toggle back and forth between the last 2 edits that you made, so you can compare them. Alright, so say that you, here's a different way you could do this. You could crop and you could put in the ratio. So if this one is going to be a 7:2 ratio, although I could have typed in 700 by 200. Oops, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. Alright, crop 7:2 ratio, and I want to get the curve out of there. Perfect. Alright, now I could go File, Save As, and this would sort of solve the problem of not, going over your original image. Save as DSLR cropped, and I'm going to save that at maximum quality because I can always reduce quality later if I want to, but I'm going to save it at maximum for now. Then I go to my canvas over here, I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and now I can put in my DSLR cropped. Then you'll have to do some resizing to get it to fit. It won't come in at exactly the right dimensions like the other one did, but again, you can see in my little box there with, okay, 699, so I might be a pixel off. Let me get 700. Oh, there we go, perfect. All right, got it. And I can then drag and make sure I'm all the way in the corner. Ta-da, same result. All right, last way you can do this is, let me go back here. Okay, you could actually just go straight here, and you could go File, Place Embedded, and then you could select the original image. If you want to do all of your editing in the canvas, you could do this. I said in class today that you can't, because you can't use the crop feature, but there is a workaround. If you right-click this image over here in your layers window and go to rasterize layer right there, because basically when you've embedded this image, it could have been another Photoshop document that had other things going on. And what we're saying when we want to rasterize it is just turn it into a normal picture, a normal grid of pixels. Now what we can do is we can transform this, Command T, and get it kind of where you want it in that space. And then you can use the marquee tool, which is something I didn't mention earlier. It's keyboard shortcut M. This is going to give you dotted lines, and as long as you have that layer selected, and then you select the part of the image that you don't want, and then just hit backspace, it's gone. And then I can hit Command D to deselect my marquee. So, of those three, I like the first one best. It's just that you got to be careful not to save over your image. The second one is a good one because it saves the cropped images separately, so you can go back and get your work later and change it if you need to. But it does involve some resizing. And the third one can be nice because you can do it all in the same canvas instead of having multiple documents open, but it's just a little bit less precise. So there you go, 3 ways to actually get started assembling your collage.